Hey folks, Jimmy here, aka Palette of the Dead. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to the latest issue of Warhammer 40k Imperium magazine. Now, as per usual, if you like these type of videos, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel and drop a comment down below. I love hearing back from you guys and it goes an absolute massive way to help the channel too. Now, this week we are on issue 19 of Imperium and we get the last armoured container, trio of barrels and 4 crates. Very easy to put together, you can't go wrong with it. I've done both of mine, so I've done one in blue, I've done one in green, I've done some black barrels, some red barrels, and yeah, might go for different colours this time around. But up to you how you want to paint them, how you want to do them, if you want to have the doors open, if you want to have the doors closed, entirely up to you. Have fun with it, very very simple to do though, and all part of your scenery, which is always pretty handy to have and quite useful when you're playing the game. Now, into the magazine itself, of course, we get Theatre of War. So this is Theatre of War 1, Manufactorum Battle Zone, smog-filled industrial centres. So the Imperium relies upon its industrial worlds and their manufactorums to provide the arms and goods that supply its armies and citizens. For this reason, many of these planets have found themselves targeted by the Emperor's foes and turned into the sites of brutal battles. So, with the armoured containers, of course, stocks of raw materials and finished goods are transported through production lines and in reinforced containers. There is cargo trains, which are massive, and you can see some of the cargo trains if you play Necromunda Hired Gun. You'll see one of the cargo trains which are ploughing through one of the levels, which is pretty cool, and they're pretty different as well. They look really quite cool. There's the galvanic servo haulers cranes, which you can get kits of them as well from good old GW. So they are kind of available to buy. Administrative servo schools, so the servo schools monitor production, feeding reports back to their human overseers. And then there are Imperial shipping transport vessels as well. So Imperial cargo ships prepares to land soon. This vessel's hull will be loaded with goods bound for the Imperial territories many light years away. And then we also have kind of like an excerpt and quote from Engineer Uther Locadia, from the Adeptus Mechanicus, which we will be getting some Adeptus Mechanicus sometime soon as well, which will be pretty cool. On the other page we get a battle record for the refinery moon of Megaria. Is home to several large manufactorum sectors. Create a setting for your own battles by naming one of these sectors and recording key information on the goods it supplies to the Imperium. So for instance, you can roll a d6 to get your sector name, d6 to get your goods as well. So it could be military explosives, for instance, or it could be good old hardened armour plates, and the name could be Quadrant Prometheus, which doesn't sound that great in all honesty. Or you could have Manufactorum Megaria, for instance, on that world of Megaria. And then you can also have your sector battles in different areas as well, so different locations depending on how you want to go about doing it. And of course it'll be your Necrons versus your Space Marines, which is pretty cool, and it adds a little bit more flavour to your game, which is what I really like about the way that they're doing this magazine. It's all about adding something and making your game slightly more unique for when you're playing, which is always really cool. Then we get some more information about the Space Marines, which is the Reclusium, should I say. So a chapter's Reclusum is a hallowed place. Reverent silence is broken only by the chanting of chaplains, the administrating of rites, and the soft footsteps of robed serfs as well. Shrines line its walls, filled with relics from the Brotherhood's glorious history. So, pretty much every chapter has a chaplain, and will have a very religious kind of undertone behind it, and the Reclusism is a place of huge cultural and spiritual significance to a Space Marine chapter. This central shrine is the primary place where prayer and worship is conducted. In the Reclusum, the chapter's chaplains, led by the Master of Sanctity and his second in command, the Reclusarch, preserve ancient traditions, conduct meditations, and perform ceremonies. So yeah, and then you have a picture of one of the chaplains there as well, which is a pretty damn cool model if you can get your hands on it as well, which is pretty nice, having that kind of bone armour over the top of the actual Space Marine power armour, which makes it stand out quite well as well. But they're really, really cool. They have their own war gear, of course, so they do have the Arcanum, for instance, which is a powered staff or mace, topped with either the double-headed Aquila of the Imperium or a winged skull, which represents the Emperor's sacrifice for humanity. And they do have a Rosarius as well, which is essentially your rosary beads, but it's actually a chain and these kind of pendants as well, the amulet they hold as well, which is really, really cool. But yeah, they have some pretty cool uniqueness to them, and they do stand out as well on the battlefield, which is always really, really cool. Now we have more information about the Necrons, which is in search of immortality, and it's all to do with the awakening. So the Necrons have slept for 60 million years. If the Eldari Book of Mournful Night is to be believed, that is. Now they have begun to rise at last, rising up to take what was theirs. And the galaxy trembles before their might. So these are hyper-intelligent master programs and legions of Canoptech slave constructs watched over by the Necrons as they slept in their tomb complexes. Despite all this, though, many disasters befell hibernating Xenos. Some tomb worlds were plundered by other races, or annihilated by vengeful Eldari. Others faced catastrophic failures of their stasis crypts. Some were obliterated by stellar catastrophes, or were ripped apart by natural disasters. So, of course, because they've slept for so long, there's no way of them predicting what the future may hold for their tomb world, and some of them have, really, really gone to pot and not survived. But really, really cool, and having a bit more information about them. So they are 1,000 empires, so there is, of course, many, many different dynasties, whether you're creating your own, whether you're painting one of the set ones, one of the the ones that are already detailed throughout the good old 40k, entirely up to you, but really, really cool stuff. And then there is also the Triarch as well. So the leaders of the Necron-tier dynasties were once governed by the Triarch, a council of 3 Therons. The head of his Triarch was known as the Silent King. The Triarch established the codes by which the dynasties were expected to conduct politics and warfare. So, more information about the Necrons and their history, their lore, and everything that behind them, and the Necron tier, of course, as well, which is really, really cool, and pretty different as well, pretty interesting. You got your how to build section for the armoured container and barrels and everything. Dead simple, you can't go wrong with it. We've had this twice already now, so you should be a dab hand at it. And then you got your how to paint section. Again, paint it how you want to paint it. You don't have to exactly follow this if you don't want to. You just do it how you want to do it. Yeah, have a bit of fun with it. But, pretty easy. You could get some really, really nice looking terrain out of it, which is always pretty handy. And then we have our playthrough. So our playthrough for the week, so no longer is fighting in Margarius contained within the Necron's tomb complex. Now the fighting has spilled out across the moon's barren surface and turned into all-out war. As they push into the abandoned factorums and Mechanicus facilities, the Ultramarines find themselves beset on all sides by phalanxes of Necron warriors led by the newly awakened Necron nobles. So, a pretty cool battle. So this is going to be a section of 3 battles, really. So we have our battle sections, and we've got a lot of stuff to go through. So we have, of course, our Space Marines. So we will be having our intercessors, and we'll be having our captain going through and fighting against everything, which will be quite fun to have. So you will be using your 5 assault intercessors, going up against a Royal Warden and 10 Necron warriors. So you've got 6 Space Marines essentially going up against 11 Necron warriors, which is going to be quite a fun one as well. So definitely pretty cool. All the way through all of this, is going to, of course, teach you how to move, charge, shoot phases, everything like that, and kind of get you going through everything in a perfect way, and utilising your terrain as well. So using the large battle mat and all of your terrain, including your new one, you'll be pushing through everything on there as well. And yeah, having a good bit of fun, which will be really, really good. And of course, it is more playable. so you can add more Space Marines to it if you wish to, and you want to keep playing by going back to the Necrons turn 1 and following instructions, of course. Space Marine player, if it wins if a Royal Warden is destroyed before the end of the Necrons player's 4th turn. So have a bit of fun with it and enjoy it as well, and then you can kind of keep on going and playing through until you get used to all the rules. Then, of course, we are moving into the newest section. So we have from issues 21 to 40, we will get our new minis, which is the Adeptus Mechanicus, and we will get some more Necrons, and we're going to get some really cool bits and pieces of scenery as well. So a lot of stuff for it. New battle mats, in theory. So the new one should be issue 21, if I remember rightly from last week, which will be pretty cool. But of course, next week we have 2 paints. So the 2 paint issue 20, we get Corn Red and we get Troll Slayer Orange. Both are going to be very handy if you're painting the same way that they're painting their minis. Entirely up to you if you want to do your Adeptus Mechanicus in the standard kind of red, white and metallic colours. I personally, I'm going to do something slightly different, and I will show what I do by painting up a couple of Skitarii Rangers for you guys. But yeah, I'm looking forward to them. I do like the Adeptus Mechanicus. They look pretty cool. They look very different, and they have a bit of a uniqueness. But we will be getting 10 Skitarii Rangers across issues 21 and 22, so 5 with each issue, and yeah, we'll go from there. We'll see what else we get, and we're going to get some really cool bits and pieces. So in all honesty, a lot of good stuff to look forward to. More Necrons, more Adeptus Mechanicus. There will be some more Space Marines in there somewhere, and then eventually we will get some Sisters of Battle as well, some old Adeptus Sororitas, which I'm guessing will be after issue 40. So really good stuff, and enjoyable. I'm looking forward to it. The future's quite bright for the magazine, and yeah, a lot of good stuff. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, as I would love to hear back from you guys. But for now, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Bye bye now.